Welcome to my design studio. My name is Kay Newsom. I'm an interior designer in the Tampa Bay, Florida area and the founder and owner of Bella Southern Interiors. Welcome to my design studio. We're standing in the library this morning where we have many wonderful books on design inspiration by the great designers of our day, but probably the book I'm most proud to include is this one about Robert Mills, the first native-born American architect. He was a protege of Thomas Jefferson, actually worked on his personal home, Monticello, and he also was a protege of Benjamin Latrobe, William Thornton, and Robert Hogan, who were the architects of Washington, D.C. as we know it. He's probably most famous for having designed the Washington Monument, the Treasury buildings, and the Post Office building. And my mother tells a great story about visiting my grandmother Mills in southwest Louisiana and actually seeing the original drawings for the monument, which is a little different than today, but still an amazing sight to see when you know that someone in your family was inspired to create something that has stood the test of our 200 years of history. As you can see, our studio is designed in a Mediterranean style and color palette. This is really popular in Florida where I live. And the other side, of course, of our studio is more of a working studio, but we hope you'll enjoy seeing what we put together on this side. Well, obviously designers do not design in spaces that are totally unmessy, so welcome to the real side of what we do. I'd like to introduce Jennifer to you, who has worked with me for several years in our firm, and she is a very creative young lady. She does some writing for us, and she does beautiful artistic renderings, some of which you can see here, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself and why she does what she does.
Yes, my father is a contractor, has his own business. So I've grown up around, building structures and architecture and such. And I've also loved design and coloring since I knew what color was. So it just felt right just to be in the world, and I highly enjoy it.
And I'd also like to introduce you to Gabriella, who I enjoy working with on the Florida Orchestra Show House and other things that we get to do together. She's a very gifted designer, and I'd like her to tell you a little bit about why she does what she does.
Hi, I graduated from Syracuse University with a design degree, and my inspiration came from my dad. He was a contractor in upstate New York, and my earliest memories are being on his job site with a little hard hat, a big hard hat on, a little kid with a big hard hat. And here I am, and I just love working, decorating, and when I'm shopping for a client or looking through swatches, I feel like, oh, this is my job. I can't believe this is my job, and it's great. Love it. I don't know what I would do, what else I would do if I didn't have this kind of background.
And what a blessing to be able to do something you enjoy.
Yeah.
And the great thing is we just get better with age, right?
Oh, I know.
Right. We
Like
get
a
more
fine
inspired.
wine.
That's exactly right. This is one of the few fields that you can say that women actually get better with age in the field of design.
It gets better, yeah. Absolutely.
Have you ever wondered how designers start a design project? And certainly HGTV has taught us a lot about that. But we would typically start with something as an inspiration, a picture, a rug, a vase, some kind of object that has a color scheme or a style that we're trying to make work for us. And then from that we would do a floor plan to make sure we have accurate measurements, and that would be followed by a rendering without color and then a rendering with color for the client's final approval. The wonderful thing about what we do is that we have access to great catalogs from suppliers so that we can do all the accessories and everything for the client here rather than going all over town shopping for it. That's important because as a designer you have to make a profit, and if you're spending all your time on a wild goose chase instead of being able to find the perfect complement in an accessory to complete that space, then it isn't going to work for you. So this is what we actually do during the day. And if you don't know this, this is an interesting tidbit. 90% of what we actually do is marketing to get clients who would like to work with us. 3% is actually design, and 7% is administration. So if you're thinking of going into the design field, I just want you to know that most of your time will be spent doing things you may not enjoy very much, but you have to pay a high price to get that 3% of the fun that we get to work with every day.